Thanks for joining the Law Scholars. This is Will, and today we're going to be talking about the Pre-Law Advisement Center. So most universities have a pre-professional development center, and because law is one of those careers that require a lot of additional study, there are often several resources within the pre-professional development center to help you prepare for a legal career. And this is often known as the Pre-Law Advisement Center. Every Pre-Law Advisement Center is going to be unique. Some law schools are going to be more comprehensive, while others may not have a center at all. But if your college does have a Pre-Law Advisement Center, there are several tools that you can utilize while you're preparing for law school. So right now I'm going to be talking about some of those tools that the Pre-Law Advisement Center can offer. And because I attended BYU during my undergrad, I'm going to be focusing on the tools that the BYU Pre-Law Advisement Center offered because that's what I am most familiar with. There are going to be some things that overlap with your Pre-Law Advisement Center. There are going to be some things that are completely different. And there are going to be some things that you may need to substitute one thing for another so that you get the best tools with your experience. So at BYU, there's the Pre-Law Student Association. BYU allows every student from every major to join the Pre-Law Student Association. All this is it's an organization that informs students of upcoming activities, events, courses, internships that students can participate in. So additionally, members of this association can network one with another and those who are attending law school. I didn't really utilize these resources too much, but it was very helpful to receive emails to see what events I was interested in. For example, I received an email and it was like, okay, so here's what an admissions board is going to be discussing when they go into review law school applications. And it's like, okay, that information is super useful. I'm going to attend that event. And so all those activities came through the organization, the Pre-Law Student Association. And so I would recommend becoming a member, even if you don't use it very often. One thing that BYU is kind of unique about, but is very useful, is that they have the BYU Pre-Law Review. So most law schools have a law review. A law review is similar to a scientific journal, but it's related to law, and it's specified for law. Students and professors can write, edit, and they can peer review articles that are to be published in these law reviews. That being part of a law review can help build a professional resume and gain additional professional experience. But a pre-law review is giving you that opportunity to do it as an undergrad. And so what BYU does is that they look for writers and editors, authors and editors, who can participate in this academic journal, which is then distributed to law schools nationwide. So for students who participate in the pre-law review, they build a strong resume for law school. It's super good experience building, and you also develop strong skills such as writing and editing, which can be helpful in other parts of your application, like the personal statement. Unfortunately, there are a few downsides. First of all, not every undergraduate college offers a pre-law review. Like I said earlier, BYU is one of the few that do, and so your college may not have a pre-law review. That being said, your department most likely has a journal that you can contribute to, that you can edit and be a part of, where you can gain those similar experiences. So that's something that you can substitute very easily. And then the other downside is not everybody can participate in the pre-law review. It's very selective, obviously, because it needs to make sure that it maintains good quality content. So you need to make sure that you apply a strong submit a strong application, and so that you can actually have this opportunity to participate. And those who do participate, it's going to look really good for them. So other resources that the Pre-Law Advisement Center offers is their website, which does a whole lot of articles that goes over the same things that we go over in this podcast. gives you information about choosing law school. It tells you what law schools are like. It gives you statistics about law school. It gives you financial information about law school. It helps you know what careers that you can explore in law school. And there's so many other things that they go over. And so the Pre-Law Center could be very helpful in answering these kinds of questions. Even though I haven't used those resources often, when I did have questions, those were always right there for me to find super easily. Another resource that the Pre-Law Advisement Center offers are their advisors. So your college is most likely to have an advisor that is designed to help you prepare for law school. My pre-law advisor directed all the activities that happened at BYU. So these were pre-law lecture series, and those are lectures from lawyers who help students know what kind of fields that they work in, so you can decide whether or not you want to go into law school. They set up events, they set up internships, and they set up several workshops as well. So you can also meet with the pre-law advisor for any questions that you have during their office hours, and they'll be able to help you out with all of those things. Also, the pre-law advisor at BYU did have a TA position, so that would be very helpful if you ever wanted to look into that when it came time to request letters of recommendation. Another resource are the editors. And so the law school advisors are best used for general questions. The editors are best used for application questions. So when you've drafted your personal statement, when you've drafted your resume, you're going to want to go to the editor and you're going to want to bring these drafts and say, hey, would you look this over and would you give me advice for what I can do to improve on these things? You'll likely meet with the editor several times. You'll receive initial feedback. You'll want to make those draft changes, and then you'll want to go back and see what they think of those. Finally, the last resource that the BYU Advisement Center offers is internships. We discussed this in another episode, and internships are something that the pre-law advisor at BYU gathers all the information for, so that students can come and learn about internships and apply for internships in a super easy way, and it simplifies the process a whole lot. They take care of all those positions, and they can really help you be successful in those fields. So just to recap, there are several tools that you can use the Pre-Law Advisement Center for. You can network through the social events. There's the Pre-Law Review for BYU, and you can join several of undergrad journals in your department if your college doesn't offer a pre-law review. There are several resources about applying for law school. There are advisors, editors, and internships. I would recommend using the Pre-Law Advisement Center often, as they can be very helpful in all that you do. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Law Schoolers. Before I let you go, there are 4 things I want to say. The first thing is, if you enjoyed these episodes and if you enjoyed the website, I would invite you to go and join Law Schoolers Pro. And you can do that by going to lawschoolers.com/join. It's a way for you to support us, but there's also a lot of features there that I think you will enjoy. Second thing is that nearly all of our episodes are unedited. The only ones that aren't are pre-law materials, and the reason for that is so you can actually see the legal material in its raw form as I'm learning it as well. The third thing is that the information contained in these episodes are specifically only for educational purposes. They're not to be used as legal advice, and with that, the fourth thing is, if it is used as legal advice, we are not liable. That is, Law Schoolers is not liable for any legal outcomes. Thank you again for enjoying the show. Have a good one.